What's poppin', people? It's your boy Shaq, aka Black Goke. And today I gotta fix my camera because I had it a little bit off center. Anyway, wait, it still is a little bit. Anyway, we're here with a very special, very fun video because this is probably the first time that I've made a dedicated video to Pokemon Black and White. Well, even though this is like a reaction, we're still going to be going crazy because look here. See that shit? Well, I gotta do my roots. Wait, yeah, like this much. Anyway. So I'm reacting to, I believe his name is FLYBOY'S video about why Team Plasma are the greatest villains in Pokemon. And I've watched maybe about like a minute of this, so I already know that I'm bricked up. You're bricked up. Let's be bricked up together as we watch or react to why Team Plasma is the greatest villains in Pokemon, even though like everyone fucking knows. Like if you disagree, then you're I mean, hey, you can have your opinions, however, you know what's objectively true. Anyway, so I'm gonna have the link to FLYBOY'S video in the description, so feel free to check out the video on your own time, show him some love, give him a like. I mean, I don't know what the full video context is going to be, but I just know that if he's glazing Black and White and Gen 5 or Team Plasma, then of course, I'm going to glaze too. There is nothing more beautiful and terrifying than innocence.
There was a time when Game Freak took storytelling in Pokemon seriously. There was a real earnestness in what they were writing. While we did see glimpses of this in Pokemon Platinum's Team Galactic,
we did. We saw a little bit in Team Plasma. I mean, sorry,
Pokemon Black and White.
Team Galactic.
New villainous team, Team Plasma.
The best villainous team.
Its leaders N and Getsus served as the vehicle for what I think is the greatest narrative we see in the entire Pokemon series.
I agree. It is the best story in any. I'm saying it right now. All my Gen 5 fanboys, like, come together. Like, we already know. Black and White is the single greatest story ever written in a piece of Pokemon media, period. And before all my Mystery Dungeon, Explorers of Sky, Rescue Team Blue, like all my Mystery Dungeon boys come together, even Super Mystery Dungeon, I've played all of those. Sky, I'd say Sky may have the... Sky's probably like the second best story. I'd say it's probably the second best, third at worst. If you're comparing it to like Super Mystery Dungeon, maybe it could still take number. I honestly, I think it takes number one for Mystery Dungeon. Anyway, there's Black and White 2. They're together. Then there's Sky. But yeah, so I have played the other games. I've also played the Nobunaga's Ambition Pokemon game. Like I played all of it. I played all this shit. Come on now. Black and White, it's easily the best. It's the only Pokemon story that feels like you're playing an actual JRPG, and it's actually good though.
Tackles the ethics of Pokemon battling.
I don't want it to be too echoey though.
Rhetoric and power intersect, and ultimately it tells us a lot about how our world really works.
Sure.
I'm FLYBOY, and this is the 5th episode in my series covering the many villainous teams of the Pokemon franchise. In this series,
so I have watched like some of his other videos. I think I've maybe watched 1 or 2 of his other videos about the different evil teams. But look, he clearly puts a lot of time and effort into these videos. So regardless of how my opinions are about each video or what you guys' opinions are, if you acknowledge that this guy is putting in the effort, the work, give this mofo a like and subscribe. I'm just letting you know right now, because I wish I could make more Pokemon content, especially about like Gen 5 and below, but I digress. Give him some love.
One of the villainous teams of Pokemon, this one of course being Team Plasma.
Yeah,
I then judge this team on 4 unique metrics and rank them on my villainous teams tier list. And before you watch this one, if you want to watch the other
easily S tier,
the series where I talk about the villainous teams from Team Rocket to Team Galactic, you can hit the tag up in the top right corner.
Oh wow, okay. Check out the right there.
Without further ado,
check it out.
I think it's time for us to introduce the masterstroke of Game Freak's writing department.
Absolutely.
The Pokemon Liberators, Team Plasma.
It's so easily the best fucking story in Pokemon. Not to say that like, oh, it's just because all the Pokemon stories are trash. It's just that this is such a standout story that even if it wasn't Pokemon, this shit would still go crazy.
Team Plasma is an organization that looks like a bunch of crusaders. Their stated goal is Pokemon liberation. Again, their stated morals and ethics is that they believe Pokemon are confined and trapped by their trainers, and thus they seek to sever the ties between them. And the methods in which they carry out this severance can range anywhere from manipulation to straight out theft, or eventually,
which to a degree they are, but
straight up political authority. Their leader, we find out,
this story was so good.
So-called king.
Ooh.
This is probably my favorite
best character
in the entire Pokemon series, and I don't
easily the best character in Pokemon. It's not even close. I know there's like a bunch of Cynthia fanboys, dude. Fuck Cynthia, bro. Dude, come on. Y'all only like her because she's a fairly attractive champion, and she's the first female champion, and she has a couple pseudo legendaries. She has like a strong team. Sure, like that's literally it. That's literally it. Come on now. Be like, look. I'm not even saying that she's trash. I'm not. Cynthia's cool, but realistically, as far as the most popular character, dude, doesn't hold a candle to N. Holds literally no. Bro, come on now. Cynthia who? Cynthia who?
I don't want to spoil too much about him right now, but he's very interesting. And his backstory is extremely tragic, but we'll get into that during the plot.
Amazing backstory.
Below N on the hierarchy are the 7 sages. These are all highly intelligent men from all across the world with various motivations for joining Team Plasma. Some of them seem convicted about...
And that's something else that goes overlooked because this never got fully explained. The 7 sages are from all over the world, so they can be from regions that we haven't even seen or heard of yet. So it's like you're getting this story that is seemingly the culmination of all of what Pokemon to that generation represents and what we understand, right? And so if you're able, if one lone man is able to travel across the globe, right? Because like no other mainline protagonist has gone that far around the entire world outside of Red and a couple other people going to just like one extra region or traveling from a different region to go to the main region where they participate in the league, do all like the story shit. Most people have only been to 2 places, 2 countries, right? That's nothing in the grand scheme of going all across the world. So when you really think about it, Getsis, he gathered the 7 admins from 7 potential different continents, meaning there's different ways of thinking, there's different people, there's different Pokemon, there's different experiences on each and every single one of these. I'll probably go, I'm going to go much deeper into this in like another video. Just look forward to like the 10-hour long, not really, but like super long black and white video where we just yap, because come on now.
Liberation cause.
Only 2 minutes in.
Maybe there for more opportunistic means. Below them, of course, are the grunts. Now, these grunts are a little bit more unique than the ones we're used to in the Pokemon series. Most of them are ideological. Now, you've always had your ideological adherence to Team Galactic, Magma, and Aqua, but especially with Galactic, you saw them sort of function as employees.
So for the Galactic grunts, they felt more so as literal grunts. They didn't really have personalities. They didn't have characters. Damn, she kind of thick, but they didn't have any.
But it seems like these Team Plasma grunts are all there for the cause, at least most of them. But the mastermind behind this operation, who reveals the true intentions of Team Plasma, is one of the 7 sages, Getsis. To Getsis, Pokemon liberation is nothing more than a means to manipulate the masses, to help him achieve his true goal, which is world domination. Very unique motivation, I know. But hey, you know, it's Pokemon.
And I'll say this. Getsis, and I know a lot of people may not agree with this. A lot of people will maybe have a different perspective. And look, I have opinions on how this story could have been written even better, or things that could have contributed to the story being written better. However, one of those things that does involve Ghetsis is the fact that part of what makes this story so fucking good is the fact that Ghetsis is such a just pure evil fucking person. He doesn't have to have the most well thought out, well explored backstory or motivations. That's N. We have N for that. If we had too many complex characters, I already believe that this story is on the same level as Final Fantasy stories and Dragon Quest and the best stories that we get in RPGs. But if we were to go that deep into Ghetsis as well to get his motivations, I'm sure that they would have at least expressed or fleshed out the Seven Sages more. They would have fleshed out every other character more. I'm glad they did not, because for a Pokemon game, and this is gonna sound crazy, I am glad they didn't go too crazy, because this already set the bar too high. If they had even just given one solid reason as to why Ghetsis is as the way he is, this there'd be no hope for any other Pokemon story. There'd be no hope for any other Pokemon game story. They would just like I know a lot of people say like, oh, what if Ghetsis was like very sympathetic then cracked at the end? That's too much. That's too much. If Ghetsis actually felt the way that he was expressing himself to feel from the beginning, like towards the end, but then have like a mental breakdown, then have to fight that, like, dude, it too good. I'm glad we got what we got. It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. But please don't write it any better, because then it's going to make me feel bad about how shit the new games are.
However, you will soon find out as we go through the plot summary that the depths of Ghetsis' villainy truly knows no bounds.
And you know what? I'm going to speed this up just a little bit. 1.25. It may affect the music a little bit.
A crushing presence.
Okay.
Our first encounter with Team Plasma is similar to Pokemon Platinum in that it happens very early on. In the first town we visit, Accumula Town, we see a crowd gathering outside the Pokemon Center.
Peak.
We see a group of Team Plasma grunts, and we also see Ghetsis.
Take a sip for every time I say peak.
Speech to the people. This is where the idea of Pokemon liberation is introduced. On first glance, not only does Ghetsis seem very charismatic in his speeches,
I was gonna say very charismatic person.
Extremely organized. The size of this team becomes much clearer later on, but at this rate we know that it is a very well-run organization. Another interesting thing we see here is Ghetsis almost starting a sort of populist movement among the people of Unova. By using his skills as a speaker, he seems to be employing the first step in any sort of populist movement or revolution, which is challenging assumptions. The assumption he's challenging here is that Pokemon want to be with trainers. The people in the Pokemon world
understandable
take that as truth, and Ghetsis is charismatically challenging that. This is planting seeds of doubt in the people's hearts on the validity and the legitimacy of the status quo. This is a real-world tactic used in politics, and I find it very interesting that Game Freak was willing to engage with something like that. However, the crowd disperses. Some are convinced, some less so, and we are left standing alone with Charon, your rival, and a strange man with green hair. He claims to be able to speak to Pokemon and challenges you to a battle to listen to what yours have to say. He claims that Pokemon are confined to their Pokeballs. Now, while of course N comes off as very eccentric, he is also very idealistic, as you can see.
That's another reason why when I don't care what people's opinions are regarding who N's canonical dragon should be. When you look at things realistically, based on the literal lore and writing behind his character, his ideal, the dragon that represents N is Zekrom. It's not Reshiram. It has never been Reshiram. Like, even though there have been different types of official media that has shown N with Reshiram, it's because literally the game's black and white. He can choose either one. But based on the actual writing, his dragon should be Zekrom. That's why I know for a fact, canonically, if we're going off of which this might be a video for later, so let me know if you guys would like to see this. But if you guys would like to see what versions of each game is the canon version of each game that continues in the timeline the most accurately, I'd say for Black and White, Black. The Black line, that's the canon one. It's Black 1, Black 2. And not to say that, oh, every main sister version such as Red, Gold, Ruby, Diamond, Sun, Sword, I'm not saying that those are all canonically the main line story. Just, hey, in the case of Gen 5, Black, the Black line seems to be the most accurate. But anyway, I digress.
Must be liberated, that they are confined, slaves to the Pokeball, and must be set free. After his defeat, you move on and you start to take on the gym challenge, but it becomes ever so clear that Team Plasma isn't just a fringe outsider group, but an ever-present presence in the Unova region. Now we find ourselves in the Dream Yard where we're looking for Muna's Dream Mist. Muna is a Pokemon
super kawaii.
that excretes this mist that is able to be used to manipulate dreams. We find Team Plasma there wanting this dream mist, and their stated intentions with it is they want to use it to manipulate the dreams of people in the Unova region to want to release their Pokemon and join the cause.
Like even this early, they are willing to go. Oh my god, like the writing behind Team Plasma is actually so fucking crazy, because we see that their first interaction was them talking to the first village, the first small village, seemingly of, I'm not going to say of Hicks, but the starting village. There's not too many people around there, but you know, it's where people start off. And, or sorry, technically it's Accumula Town versus Nuvema, but like Nuvema is just like a small town where houses are, versus the first city, small city, being Accumula. That's where the most people can. Oh my god. And started his journey in the same place as Black. Oh my god, bro. All right. Anyway. You know what? I got too much to say about this game. I got too much to say about this game.
When it comes to this, I mean, think about how nefarious people would get if we truly could manipulate the dreams of others. So of course,
yes, it'd be crazy.
Sinking feeling. It is up to you to stop them. The Muna does not want to give them the mist for obvious reasons, and we see a grunt kick it. Now, this feels opposed to their ideology.
Right.
They're willing to abuse Pokemon to liberate them. And it shows that these grunts are just so ideologically attached to the movement that they see any action they do to further the cause as justified. And again, this is a real-life phenomenon we can see in real-life groups and people. And again, I find it just so interesting how willing Game Freak was to tackle these subjects. Now,
exactly.
The older,
it's so ahead of its time.
To this Muna comes in to save the day and uses its Dream Mist to manipulate the dreams of the grunts, and a sort of phantom Getsis appears. It is here that Game Freak's able to present to the player who Getsis really is in a natural way. We see a more sinister side of Getsis, the side that,
which can be really spooky depending on how it goes.
It shows that Getsis is really just an actor, a character he's playing up to the crowd to arouse support for this cause. And this is where we get to see Getsis's Machiavellian strategies to acquire power.
I don't know what that word means.
Admiration and fear to manipulate his.
Alexa, what does Machiavellian mean?
As an adjective, Machiavellian is usually defined as of, like, or befitting Machiavelli. As a noun, Machiavellian is usually defined as a follower of the principles analyzed or described in the Prince, especially with reference to techniques of political manipulation. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for Machiavellian.
Okay.
His way into power. This dream is enough to get the grunts to run off in fear, and we move on. This takes us to Wellspring Cave, where we see grunts kidnap a little girl's Pokemon, and we have to save it. And this goes to show just how ideologically attached these grunts are, that they find any sort of immoral or morally questionable action is justified just because they're doing it for a greater purpose. But why do they believe this cause so much? Getsis isn't quite the leader that inspires this type of idealism. So where is it found? With no sense of foreshadowing or anything, this takes us to Nacrene City, where we encounter N one more time. He challenges you to a battle again to listen to your Pokemon once more. And when you battle him, I find it kind of cool that he's only using Pokemon from the surrounding routes.
Yep.
Like he's developing friendships as he travels through the region, just like you. In fact, he does call the Pokemon his friends rather than his Pokemon, and realizes after this battle that ideology and rhetoric can only take you so far. Just like in real life, institutional power is necessary to make change. And here he seeks it through the power of Reshiram. Reshiram is the legendary Pokemon of the Unova region, and we'll get into the mythology of it a little bit more, but basically it would give him legitimacy as a ruler over the region. And of course, it's a powerful Pokemon, so it would give him literal brute force if necessary. Totally unconnected to N's desire to find the legendary dragon, surely, Team Plasma is also
The story just
chasing
makes so
the
much sense.
legendary
Like the
dragon.
plot points, like the story beats, it just flows so
It seems like
perfectly.
Team Plasma will be toying with the mythology and the legendaries of this region, just as Team Magma, Aqua, and Galactic did in theirs. But they run off with the skull, thinking it's Reshiram's skull, I'm sure, into Pinwheel Forest, and you and the third gym leader Berg chase after them. I find Berg to be a lot more interesting than what I remember, because once you corner Team Plasma and you get the Dragon Skull back, he has a sense of prudence towards them and says to stop and not corner them or chase them down any further, to take the W where you can get it. And I think that's a valuable lesson to teach children. You never know what happens to people when they become desperate, when they become cornered, and it's better to just take the victory where it stands. Now, this takes us to Castelia City, where
Beautiful
is,
city.
and Team
Beautiful
Plasma has
city.
a hideout located there. This time, the scheme they carry out is they stole Bianca, your rival's Mana. You find Getsus and 2 other sages in this hideout, and you, Berg, Iris, and Bianca corner them. Berg, again, impressing me, inquires about Team Plasma's true intentions, their guiding principles, he says, and Getsus answers. Getsus retells the mythology of Unova, about the legendary dragon and the hero that created it. And Team Plasma wants to revive the myth and harness its power. He does slip up a little here and says that this will be his dream, not Team Plasma's. He corrects himself and says it's Team Plasma's, but Getsus' selfish intentions are starting to show through. Team Plasma gives Bianca her Mana back, and Getsus shows a shred of humanity, may I say? He says that the
I don't know about humanity.
are touching, but he casts it aside. And here's where I start to believe that Getsus truly may be the most evil person we see in Pokemon.
Oh, easily.
It seems
Easily.
like there's these little chances throughout the game, and we'll continue to see it, where he could show some humanity, where he could show some mercy, and yet he refuses to, all for the sake of power. We go into Nimbasa City, and the Grunts are carrying out one more plan to kidnap more Pokemon from the evil trainers to liberate them.
I mean,
Now
some
they're
trainers
terrorizing
are
a daycare worker.
not
They stop them, of course, and they
worthy of
find the
having
amusement park.
Pokemon. It's like the same with some parents, you know? Some parents don't deserve to have kids.
Plasma,
But I digress.
don't worry, it won't be suspicion for much longer. While he is still feigning this sort of friendship towards you, he tells you to go chase after Team Plasma with him. He says to get into the Ferris wheel, and I think this might be the best scene we get in all of Pokemon. It's this very tense moment.
It
where
is
it's
one of the best
you
moments in
and
Pokemon, I
the
can't
Ferris
lie.
wheel, and he finally admits that he is the king of Team Plasma, and you're stuck there in the Ferris wheel alone, and you gotta wait for it to come all the way back down. I just think that is brilliant. I love how they did it. I love how N is sort of like, I don't even know how to describe it. He just is like, he's like, sit down with me. I'm gonna tell you this, and you're gonna have to live in the moment. You're gonna have to stand here
Yeah.
with me and accept the reality that I am Team Plasma. He gets down and battles you to help his grunts get away, saying that as their lord, he is protecting them. I think this shows a very different relationship than what someone like Cyrus had to Team Galactic. N's loyalty and
I agree.
his ideologues that follow him, it seems like he earned their
I know I'm not
loyalty. It seems like
talking as much now.
reciprocated.
I'm
I
actually
think that just adds
super
even-
locked into what bro has to say, but I did give a little bit too much digression in the beginning, so I'm just gonna let him, like, you know, cook for a bit, you know, and then whenever I have like a major point that I want to bring up, that's when I'll talk about it. So other than that, like, he's fucking cooking. I mean, nothing I disagree with. He's on fire.
To the ultimate villainy of this team when you include Getsus, but just how convincing their motivations are. After you defeat him, and it is a well-earned victory for you, because that Sigilyph can be annoying, especially if you're doing a Nuzlocke. But after you defeat him, he says that he is challenging the Pokemon League, that he wants to become the strongest trainer to convince people to release their Pokemon, and that you have to get there as well. You have to challenge the Pokemon League.
The
to fight him
best
as
story.
well.
The
You want your ideology, that Pokemon and people.
the best story.
prevail. And this is
The
such an
best
awesome
story.
element of
Oh,
this game.
it's so
The
good.
story itself is interwoven into the gym challenge. It's
Yes.
brilliant. I love that this
Masterful.
game does this. Regardless,
Masterpiece.
Something big is about to happen, and you are a part of this ride. So buckle up. Plot
Oof.
summary. Part 2. A storm is brewing. Our next encounter with Team Plasma is in the cold storage in Driftveil
I know
City.
I know the connection seems to make it
Zinzlin, one of the seven
seem like it's
sages,
cooking,
belongs to
but
a bunch of grunts who gathered all of these stolen Pokemon in front of the cold storage. They had escaped from Clay before.
graphics
and
still look
before them
amazing.
in the cold storage. Clay arrests them again, and honestly, this part's not too interesting. It's what happens afterward that is very, very intriguing. When you go in front of the Driftveil City gym, you see Clay there with the arrested Team Plasma members, and Getsus appears in front of him. Getsus threatens Clay. Clay, one of the gym leaders, very powerful trainer, it almost seems like these gym leaders function as the region's police force, and Clay stands down to these threats. Getsus claims that Team Plasma is a lot more powerful than Clay thinks, and I think he's right. It's a pretty awesome flex of Team Plasma's strength and Getsus' strength, and it's sort of like, a mafia boss threatening local law enforcement to stand down.
Yeah, basically, because that's essentially what it is.
I thought it was really cool, and it shows Getsus isn't afraid of instilling fear in certain select people to move his way forward. Next, we find ourselves in Charstone Cave, and because N has grown attached to you, he has found a liking towards you. Him and Getsus want to challenge you, and here we face a trial. You're introduced to the Shadow Triad, a trio of these ninjas who are absolutely loyal to Getsus.
See, I always wish that we got more info. I mean, we already...
And finally,
what
face
the hell?
N.
We already get a good amount of info about the Shadow Triad in Black and White 2, but I wish we got to see a little... Oh, I mean, I know what the general consensus is. We wish that we got more info about the protagonist in Black and White 2, or sorry, from Black and White 1. The protagonist from Black and White 1 in 2. We wish we got more info about maybe Getsus' backstory, the Shadow Triad, and sisters, and the Seven Sages. Those, off the top of my head, are some of the aspects of Black and White that I wish they could have expanded on, and we never know what they're going to do moving forward. So,
once more, he reveals even more of his ideals to you in more detail. He truly believes that battles harm Pokemon. And when Professor Juniper shows up, he says to her face that the Pokédex, her endeavor, like her whole purpose, revolts him. The idea that we can organize these Pokemon into these different categories and confine them to these Pokeballs to research them, he finds it revolting. He believes that this world where these messy, gray ideals of people thinking Pokemon are friends but can also be researched on should not exist. That there should not be a world
which I get.
where people are unashamed to, in his eyes, harm Pokemon. He leaves Chargestone Cave, and you go on to take on the 6th gym leader, Skylar.
Dude, this...
So, by the way,
if Pokemon Black and White got animated, and they did it as well as they animated the Black and White 2 animated trailer, it'd be my second favorite. It'd probably be my second favorite anime. At most, or sorry, at worst, it would be my third favorite anime. God damn.
In the entire series, for no particular reason, she's just the
Unless they, never mind.
leader and meets you out in front of
Skyla,
him, and
Latina
he wants to talk
mommy.
to your lead Pokemon again. His once concrete and solid idealism is again starting to crumble. When he talks to his Pokemon, he doesn't see anything wrong with your bond with your Pokemon. He doesn't see the sort of slave morality that he thought was there. In fact, he even says that if every trainer treated Pokemon like you do, they wouldn't need liberation.
Exactly.
And that's the fact that your Pokemon will be severed from you. But again, N believes he must keep moving forward. I think at this point he understands he's in too deep. This is what he believes. And so he has to keep moving forward. It seems like N's motivation to get Reshiram isn't just to harness the power.
Zekrom, oh my god. No, Flyboy, no! You're one of those! It's not Reshiram. Oh my, it's not that I'm such a N and Reshiram hater. I'm not. Like Reshiram is my favorite legendary Pokemon of all time. It's just that realistically, it makes sense that the hero of ideals is N and the hero of truth is Black. Why does everyone think Reshiram? I know I'm wearing white right now, but I'm also wearing black. Motherfucker, I'm wearing black. Can't see it, but I'm wearing black. Damn. Why? Why?
Hearts and minds of people by reviving the hero story that is so entrenched in their Unova mythology. Speaking of Reshiram, this takes us to Dragon Spiral Tower, where we hear Team Plasma has breached and entered and we chase up after them. You defeat grunt after grunt, and at the top,
I hope it's loud enough in the background.
Legendary Reshiram. Here we see that N is starting to formulate this grand battle he has in his mind. He sees you as an ideological rival and wants to have
a true rival
where he, with
I mean, it can be swapped, but I digress.
You with the power of Zekrom in some grand ultimate battle of ideas. Now, this obviously just comes from the mind of this eccentric N. I assume, and we soon find out, that Getsus doesn't really like this idea, but goes along with it for the sake of upholding N as their lord anyways. Well, you heard it. You need to find Zekrom, okay? To do this whole battle, you gotta find Zekrom. So this takes you to the Relic Castle in the Desert Resort, where instead of finding the Dark Stone to awaken Zekrom, you find Getsus. He doesn't seem interested in this battle, but he says N chose you, and so you must carry out this duty for his king. He tells the current champion that he's essentially irrelevant. He basically tells him that N is so powerful, you're gonna lose anyways. You're an afterthought.
Yeah.
Relevant. And the champion's almost a little offended, but Getsus shows a very sadistic side of himself when he says he likes to see the moment in which someone gives up all hope. Yeesh, this guy is something else.
Getsus is crazy, if y'all haven't realized.
March towards the Pokemon League. And on Tube Line Bridge, we run into Getsus one more time. Just you and Getsus, and the Shadow Triad, of course. This is where Getsus reveals this battle, it's irrelevant. It's not necessary. It is just something N wants to do. And he reveals that he raised N from birth, essentially, to fill this role as the hero of Unova. He raised him to be able to awaken Reshiram. It's a lot more sinister than
I may have to.
It sounds.
I know I'm running at like faster speed. May have to pause it for a second. 1 second. So picking back up midway through, separate recording if you guys can't tell, but yeah, I wanted to do this video in 2 parts because like I don't feel as though I was all the way there for the first part, but we're just gonna keep it going. So I know this is roughly where we were.
Someone gives up all hope. Yeesh, this guy is something else, isn't he? We get the Dark Stone and we continue to march towards the Pokemon League. Okay. And on Tube Line Bridge, we run into Getsus.
Okay, this is where we left off in the last video.
You and Getsus.
Dude, and like this game looks so good. This game looks so good, bro. I don't care for like, oh, it looks good for its time. No. This game looks good in general.
From birth, essentially.
Holy crap. If you were to play Pokemon Black and White on hardware or on emulator, whatever the fuck you can get, play that shit nowadays.
We will find out soon enough. Do you really think a man like Getsus, from what we've seen, is going to raise a child correctly? In Opelucid City, we see Getsus give one more speech about Pokemon liberation and how he literally says
not at all
oppressing their Pokemon, and he leaves, and we learn more about the hero mythology of the Unova region. Now, this is just some lore stuff. It's not.
Now, okay, I don't know if this is a fucking Mandala effect or the Mandala system, whatever the fuck, dude. To my knowledge, okay, please, anyone in the comments, correct me if I am wrong. If what I'm about to say is false, just tell me, because I feel like I don't remember exactly where I fucking consumed this, but this is just so instilled in my head. It has to be the Mandala, right? So the story of Unova was that originally Unova was a bunch of warring territories, and one lone person came to this region with the original dragon, and them having the original dragon, talking with people and seeing how everything was going, they were like, yo, you guys are fighting too much, let's bring everybody together. Essentially the OG, the original king with the original dragon, brought Unova together. That's why every section of Unova is connected by bridges because, you know, no, I'm gonna say that for a different video. But he connected everybody. Then he had twin sons. He had these twin sons. Then those sons inherited essentially his ideals, his truths, but they misinterpreted it to a degree, right? There was the one son who only sought the truth of what the original king brought down, and there was one side who only looked at the ideals of the king, and they brought that into like their own way of thinking. So it was the original king with the original dragon. Then they had two kids, or he had two twin kids. One pursued the truth of his ideals, and the other perceived the ideals based on his truths. Something like that, right? And after the late king lost power, and it was just like the twin sons, I'm pretty sure that they built off of that specifically. And when the first twin sons had the original dragon, and then it split because it didn't know who to side with. Then those two kings had children that, you know, continue the fight. I don't know where the fuck I read this or saw this. I don't know if like this was, because this is not my headcanon. This is not my headcanon. I would not be saying this otherwise. Like, dude, but it just feels so fucking right. God fucking damn. Anyway.
Really necessary for the story, but it does help cement the idea of what N and Getsus are trying to achieve through deception.
Dude, this is easily like my favorite video game story. It's
has its that they shared, split into two, and then the brothers fought with each other again until they got tired and gave up.
But all you need to know is that it's a foundational belief in Unova that the hero and the dragon created Unova. Team Plasma seeks to manipulate people by reviving that myth and claiming that N, the king of Team Plasma, is the hero.
And I wholly believe that N is the direct descendant of... Dude, I believe that the two... Okay, wait, this is a theory. I believe that the protagonist from Pokemon Black and White and the protagonist of Black and White 2 are the direct descendants of the original king. Where N fits in? Look. There's, oh my god, there's so many, oh my god, I have so many fucking theories about this, but I believe that the main character from Pokemon Black and White, and bare minimum, N, they are descendants of the original king. I believe that that's the case, and if we ever have a Pokemon Legends game that encompasses that story, like the original, because like we gotta get that shit. We have to get that story. We can't not get that story because it's one of the biggest mysteries in Pokemon. If we get that shit, oh my goodness. But that's what I believe. But I digress. Let's keep going.
King of the region. Just like all leaders need to establish legitimacy to wield power effectively, Team Plasma will do it through this myth.
Okay. The best character in
Part
Pokemon.
3, the battle of ideas.
Once
you defeat the
this is easily the best fucking game.
You see that N has already
no one,
dude.
I will debate any bro. I will fucking debate anybody on this shit. Please. This is the best fucking game. This is the best game. It's the best game. It is the best fucking game. Yes, I have played every single Mystery Dungeon game. Yes, the Mystery Dungeon stories are immaculate. They they are like the next best games. But like as far as just, dude, this is the best game. This is the best game story wise, gameplay. You know, like that's like debatable. You know, Black and White 2 has the best gameplay, but like, dude, Black and White is the best Pokemon fucking game ever fucking made.
Walls. This is N's castle.
Easily.
Very expensive infrastructure, but you know what? I respect,
dude.
it.
And there's so
And
much content that they can make around it.
Him into his castle,
bro.
And challenge
this game felt like a ROM hack.
Before we go in, we encounter
this game felt like a fucking ROM hack.
Sages. This is where we start to see a little bit of a dual loyalty, where they admit they're going to disappoint N by challenging and defeating you now, but it's all for the sake of Ghetsis' master plan. Regardless, the gym leaders help you challenge the sages, and you get to move on.
Dude, if the fucking Pokemon Black and White anime went based on the actual, I'm so mad, bro. I'm so mad, dude. This video is making me mad because like now I'm thinking about like how good the anime could have been. I mean, like, shout out to the guy who like made this video. It's an amazing video, but like I'm just thinking about like how the anime could have been so good. Why did we get the fucking Black and White anime that we got? Oh my god. Dude, this moment in the anime would have been crazy. This would have been fucking crazy, bro.
Into N's castle.
Oh my god, dude, this would have been
N's tragic backstory. There are two women in one of the rooms.
Bro, and like, okay. If we're going based on like how, like, you know, like the best written like piece of media in all of reality, ReZero. So if Black and White was written by Tape, oh my god, oh my god, bro, dude, we would not have gotten N's name chapter until the very last fucking couple episodes. Damn! Oh my god! Oh no! Oh, I'm hyped.
Tells you, Ghetsis raised N from a very early age.
Yes.
Only surrounding him with Pokemon that had been abused by their trainers. Ghetsis raised N to shape him into this ideologue that truly believed Pokemon and trainers were incapable of living amongst each other. All this was to get N to be worthy to awaken Reshiram.
Dude, this is the best. This is the best fucking game.
Manipulated a child for over a decade at least.
This is the best fucking game.
Just so he can have access to Reshiram.
You guys are going to be stupefied. Okay, wait, hold on. 'Cause I know I've shown you guys in like different videos, blah blah blah. Hold on. Ignore my dirty ass fucking messy room. Look at this. Look at this. I even have the fucking Japanese versions. Bro, come the fuck on. Come on. Come on, chat. Yeah, okay. I know I'm looking a little smaller. I've been losing some muscle. Don't worry, we still. Anyway. No, dude, like honestly, like it's too fucking good. Yeah, it's too good. It's too good. It's too good. It's too fucking good, bro.
One day to establish power and dominance in the region. I don't think there's a better definition of someone treating human beings as means rather than ends. Anthea tells you that N has already realized that trainers don't really want to hurt their Pokemon.
Dude, this game was so fucking good, bro.
He's come this far. He doesn't want his life up to this point to be a lie. Here we see the grunts sort of be more open about the sinister aims of Team Plasma, and I find this very interesting because
what I'll say is even the grunts themselves, even like the lackeys, they're not NPCs in the conventional sense that they're just nobodies. the NPCs in Team Plasma are actual people with actual emotions. There's character, like, I'm sure he's gonna say it, like, talk about it, but there's characters who, towards the end of the Black and White campaign in Team Plasma, they're like, oh, we're soon enough, we're going to be rid of all Pokemon, like, Pokemon are going to be free, but why does it feel like this Pokemon is, like, hurting to, like, leave me or something? Like, dude, it's, oh my god, this story is so good. It's oh my god, it's too fucking good. Come on now. Oh my god. It's too fucking good. Okay. All right.
Because it shows that the grunts weren't all ideologues, that there were some that were more opportunistic in nature. And we also see N's childhood room, which just knowing what Getsus did to this child gives it a very eerie feeling, that's for sure. Now,
this shit is actually so fucking peak.
He mentions how N was the perfect specimen to unlock the power of Reshiram.
If that's not what makes a hero, what more do you need?
Reshiram, the hero.
Reshiram.
Who will bring legitimacy to Getsus.
We can bring into the world that I know.
Of course.
That Team Plasma desires.
You know that he wants to use
bro,
myth
they literally had fucking Roswell voice acting fucking
so he can control
Getsus.
Them. These people will be left powerless. And ultimately, who knows?
Well, I'm pretty sure it was Roswell, right?
Specimen more than Getsus himself, who spent over 10 years manipulating N to become this perfect hero. You finally meet N, and he seems disappointed that you don't have Zekrom, that it's not awakened. It reeks of this sort of
dude, and the water in the background looks so good. He's
obviously conflicted. He doesn't quite know what's going on. He just wants to be proven right or wrong, for that matter. But eventually, Zekrom does wake up. You capture Zekrom, and you guys have this ultimate battle of the ideals.
Okay, I'm saying this shit right now. I may have said it in the earlier part. I don't fucking remember. But, dude, N's Cannon Dragon is fucking Reshiram. Or sorry, Zekrom. N's Cannon Dragon is Zekrom because he is the hero of ideals. The main character is the hero of truth. I don't know why the community thinks that it's supposed to be the other way around. The main character is not fighting for the ideal world. He's fighting for the truth of how the world is. N was fighting for his ideal world. He just couldn't see the fucking truth. And that's why, like, the story is so fucking good. You know what? Keep going. Keep going. This shit's too good, bro.
You're victorious, of course.
God damn it.
Game, you have to win, but you're victorious. And N says that everything is ruined.
He's playing Pokemon White.
Mythological story of the heroes, where they conclude that neither of them is correct, and deliberates.
Hey, you know what's crazy?
Whether
he's white wearing a black V-neck. I'm black wearing a white V-neck. I think that's the game right there. Anyway,
conclude that neither of them is correct, and deliberates whether you and him, the two heroes, could both be correct. Could the idea that Pokemon
this game was too good,
worthy of dignity and respect, and also can live alongside trainers.
This game was too fucking good.
Coexist.
Oh my god. Okay, chat.
Yes. Now before you get
let me know, like,
Getsus appears one more
Gen
time.
5 or
This
Gen
guy,
4 for
and,
the next game to play.
He comes in, immediately starts insulting N, his son. By the way, his son. He says immediately that N isn't worthy to bear the same surname as him. He claims that the only reason that N cares about anything is because of him. He engineered him to do so, and that N was nothing more than a tool for his gain. He calls N stupid for challenging you, the trainer. The battle was already won. The champion was already defeated. Why did you have to mess it up? He calls him a warped, defective boy.
This is the
Oh my goodness.
Single best story
dude.
in any
his
Pokemon
son
game that
he's
exists.
talking to.
Yes,
And he
I've played
sees him
Explorers of
as nothing
Sky.
more than a
It is
tool,
amazing.
a defective one. at
Not-
that. He then turns to
Nah.
you, the
It
only
made me
witness
cry.
of this battle that delegitimizes
But it's not black and
N's
white.
claim
It's
to rule Unova, and says that you must be eliminated.
And he has the same theme as Arceus, just remixed. Because he has a god complex. Bro. And like most people don't even know
After
that
you
because they've
defeat
never
him
gotten to
once and for all,
officially fight
Ghetsis
Arceus because it
goes
was never
on
an
a
official
god
event in Gen
complex
4.
Rant. He says that he is perfection. Alder, the champion, reaches out to N, and Ghetsis cuts him off, saying that N is a freak without a human heart. He has nothing but contempt for humanity in general, but especially his son. He's taken away by Charon and Alder, and you and N talk for one last time. N admits that that first battle, where he saw the bond between you and your starter so
Damn,
strongly,
bro, low
is
key,
what really
I might
broke
fucking
his
cry
foundation
when
for
I
this
replay
ideal
Black and White
that his father instilled for
on the
N
channel.
from such a young age. Over time, he kept feeling more and more unsure about it, and now he has to figure out what he himself believes, not what Ghetsis convinced him to. He then says farewell, and the credits roll.
Yeah, I knew he was playing white. I mean, like, either way, it's like Black and White, like they're peak games. Looker.
Plot summary.
Oh, okay.
Epilogue. Unfinished business. So after you get through the credits, you run into a very familiar face, Looker of the International Police. If you watched my last episode about Team Galactic, you know this guy, and he's looking for the 6 sages that are left. 6 because they've captured Ghetsis already. When you find Rude, he tells you he seeks to understand the heart, and Ghetsis
Never
had
caught
him
Ghetsis.
duped. Seems like his love for
They
N
thought they
is what had
did.
driven him to join. Gorm seemed
But
enamored
the
by N.
Shadow Dude, this would be such a good fucking anime. Oh my god, it'd be so good.
To enjoy
Dude,
the camaraderie of the
if-
Seven Sages,
if
which fell apart.
Pokemon
when
Black and
Ghetsis
White was
revealed his
adapted-
intentions. Zinzlin doesn't.
if Black and White was adapted the way that the creator, the writers wanted it to be done in the actual fucking anime, it'd be like second for me or third tops, like minimum, because you know ReZero's number 1, number 2 is Attack of Titan. But if Black and White was adapted into an anime, bro, it'd be number 2. It'd be number 2.
Seem to care for the ideology at all. He just wanted to feel alive. He wanted to pursue something higher, and Ghetsis gave him that feeling. Bronius challenges you again in Chargestone Cave, just like Ghetsis did, and he seemed to have been convinced of N's ideology, but not anymore. Finally, Giallo. He spoke some platitudes.
This game
about
is too
people
good.
and Pokemon. We're told by Looker that someone spotted the legendary Reshiram, so we know N is out there, but that's it for the plot summary. Now it's time for my rating and review of Team Plasma. And if you didn't
10
tell
out of
by the
10.
thumbnail and the title already, I love this team, so I'm just going to give you the quick rundown.
10 out of
The
10.
4 unique metrics I rate these teams on is, first, their motive. How compelling is their motive? Does it
10
line
out of
up
10.
with their actions? If it's world-changing, universe-altering motives, I'm going to expect there to be universe-altering plans to get there. Next is villainy. Are these teams actually
dude,
villainous? Are
Team
the
Plasma
actions
is the
they
perfect
carry
evil
out
team. They're the
actually
best evil team.
or
You
can they
cannot
just
beat
be
this.
Sort of written off as people
Like,
who are
Black and
misunderstood.
dude, I'm gonna say this right now. It's going to be extremely hard for a modern Pokemon game to do anything that is on par of the story of Black and White. Dude, like they made Black and White too fucking early. If they made Black and White now, it'd be the best. I mean, like it's currently the best fucking Pokemon game ever made, but it would be the best game ever made if they didn't put their fucking heads in their fucking buttocks when trying to create the games. But I digress.
Next is plot. How well does this team
What,
fit into the
bitch?
overall narrative of the
Bitch!
story? In
Come
this
on
case,
now.
They are the narrative of the story. And how compelling is it? What themes do they teach, and how well do they teach these themes?
Go ahead.
And
Lay it on me.
you know, how well is the pacing? Next is Aura. This is the X factor. It's
Aura?
just my opinion, what I think of them.
Okay, okay. Okay, of course N has the most fucking aura. Bro's in the Ferris wheel just like... Hold on. N's in the fucking Ferris wheel just like... So, I'm the king of Team Plasma. How do you fucking... Bro! Or... What? What? This motherfucker's just like chilling, just like... I'm the king of Team Plasma. Like, bro. Dude, diabolical fucking drop. Diabolical drop. Let's go.
Their presence, how they look, you know, are they cool? So this
Dude,
is just
come
kind
on.
of my opinion. So if you don't really like my opinion, I'm sorry, but it's gonna be there.
I know
For
it's
each of these
probably
metrics, I
echoing.
give
I'm
them a
sorry.
score between
I gotta
bad,
figure out how to
mid,
alleviate
great,
that.
and excellent. So let's get started. Motive, excellent. This one's pretty
of course.
simple. Pokemon liberation is the facade, and world domination.
But people
is the
actually
goal.
believe
I
in
think
it.
it's so
No,
cool how you
people
have these
actually
warring
believed in it.
ideologies happening
Even in their
behind the
same
scenes.
team, they believe
the
in
grunts
it.
are very ideological driven.
So like,
You know,
it's a facade, but
their
like,
crimes
to who?
they justify because
To the
of
people
this
who aren't fighting for
ideology.
that.
And I think
That's
that
why
in
it's
of
black and
itself
white.
is like its own
It's so
type
good. It's so
of
good.
motivation that's
It's so
compelling.
good.
But then you have N, who was raised from birth to have this ideology as well. Then you have the 7 sages, who some of them seem like they just want a slice of the pie.
Green
of,
as a color represents
Team
nature and
Plasma's
neutrality.
dominance. Others are
Natural.
more
Harmonia
ideologically driven as
Gropius.
well. And ultimately Getsis. Oh my goodness. His motivation of world domination lines up perfectly with his actions. He sees every single person as a means to an end,
Pythagoras.
as just another
I was gonna say like
tool
Pythagoras
to
is
manipulate
his
to get to where
lead,
he wants to be.
and
I think
his
it's
attire
brilliant. I love
definitely
the
like
motivations
reflects like
across
the
board.
colors for the
all of them,
Pythagoras.
all the different ones, whether it's the grunts and the sages, Getsis, I think they all lend to a great and compelling motivation. Villainy, excellent. I mean, I talked about it already.
Peak.
The grunts, you know, they themselves commit a lot of heinous acts, abusing Pokemon, stealing Pokemon. They do these.
They've
evil
gone
things
the full
and
9
justify
yards.
them through the ideology. But I think the true villainy, and you all know I'm talking about who I'm going to talk about, it's Getsis. He
Of
is
course.
just so freaking evil. You see it through the whole thing. He manipulates a whole group of people, the whole
More
world,
than a
essentially, that
large
this
group of
Pokemon
people. He
liberation
manipulates
is so serious and can be
populace.
taken seriously. He causes a whole populist revolution about the Pokemon
What?
liberation. He raised N
Crazy
from
work.
almost birth. I don't know how early he raised N from, and manipulated him.
I mean,
from a
N had
child.
to have been,
Just-
if N was like running, speaking, like he had to have been at least. Wait. N had to have been at least like 4 or 5 minimum when he was in the forest. When Getsis got him. Because if he was around 14 or sorry. If he was around like 4 or 5 in the forest and Getsis raised him till black and white and he was around 18 years old and the protagonist is 14 but projected to be 16 and was getting groomed around the same time that the protagonist was like fucking learning what Pokemon was. Dude, this game is so fucking good. Oh my
just to
god.
get access to Reshiram. Eventually, he has nothing but contempt for this son. He's sadistic. He's evil. He is Machiavellian in the sense that he will stop at nothing to pursue power. He employs all the different methods, you know, balancing admiration through N with fear through his coercion and his tactic. He uses deception and lies through this Pokemon liberation facade to get what he wants. He knows how to use rhetoric, he knows how to use power, and he employs it very cold and unfeelingly to get what he wants. Ghetsis, I think, is the perfect villain, and we're not even done with him. Just wait for the next Villainous Teams episode. Plot, excellent. I don't know if I have to say much more.
It's perfect.
Plot. We went over a lot of it in the plot summary,
like,
but I
come
love
on,
the narrative
bro.
that is presented here. There's so many different themes that this game touches on through Team Plasma. Like I said, rhetoric and power, Ghetsis employing those different strategies unfeelingly. He uses deception. It really teaches children about how the real world works. It teaches children that it's not what people are saying, it's what they're doing. It's who they are that truly matters. Ghetsis could tell you all these platitudes about Pokemon liberation and how we're oppressors, but that didn't really matter because we knew who he was. I think that's a wonderful lesson to teach kids. And in regards to the pacing, they're present throughout the entire game. It never feels like there's these big gaps where nothing happens. I love the pacing of this game, and I mentioned it in the plot summary, but
the pacing is immaculate. Oh my goodness.
Ending of the game.
It's the perfect game. Like
wonderful. Just love it. Aura. Excellent.
Aura.
Look, I know this might sound hypocritical and very biased.
Okay, it might echo, but like I gotta turn this up. I'm sorry. Sorry.
And I know Team Plasma, they kind of look goofy. Okay, they're redheads, they're gingers in these like Crusader outfits. But
no, they got the shit on though.
They're in these knight outfits.
They got the shit on though.
Awesome. It goes in with the theme of N being their king, and I love it. You know,
and
putting
oh my god,
they're these great moral liberators, and I think the costumes fit perfectly. They look well organized, and they look like they're fighting for a good cause. Also, the castle, that's Aura. Okay, the castle, they built a castle underground around the Pokemon League because they knew eventually N would beat the champion, and they could just do this. They could Aura farm by letting this freaking castle surround it. I thought that was awesome. And finally, N. I love this guy. I love this character. Not only does he look cool,
best character Pokemon.
The way he challenges the character, the way he grows himself, it's just so cool. That Game Freak was really trying to
one of the best written characters of any media that I've seen.
That there was more to him than meets the eyes. It was an earnest attempt at a real character with a real character arc, and I love it. So that's my ratings. You can argue with me all you want. Is it biased? Probably.
Bro, this guy right here, this guy right fucking here, I don't got shit to argue about. I don't got shit. Bro, you said you want to, like, argue? No. I'm going to argue with you on your fucking side. Because you've done a crazy good job of getting to your major points and why you feel as though that this specific game, like, because like you say like, oh, why Team Plasma are the greatest villains in Pokemon. I know that that's not actually why you made this fucking video. Don't fucking lie to me, bro. I know you made this video because you just love Gen 5. And same. You made this video because you know how good the fucking shit is. You just wanted like some minor reason to talk about the story, plot, characters. Like, yeah, dude, it's fucking peak. This is a great video. You did a fucking amazing job. 38 minutes, 40 seconds, you've done an amazing fucking job. Like, me reacting to you is like double that, but like, dude, bro, give this guy a fucking sub. Give him a like. Support his content because, man, he goes crazy.
But you know what? They're the GOATs, okay? So you already know where I'm going to rank these guys. So let's just get the tier list up.
Double S.
Team Plasma at a S ranking.
Easy.
They're absolutely the best villainous teams in this franchise.
Easy.
I just love
easy
about them. The story, the plot, their motivations, just how
easy,
evil,
bro.
Especially Ghetsis is. Just
easy clap.
Ghetsis is. These are
easy
true
clap,
villains,
bro.
And Game Freak really tried to make them as compelling and as interesting as possible.
And
thank you so
honestly,
much
like,
for getting this far into the video.
It's probably the best we'll ever get.
I really appreciate it. A verse I would like to share with you that coincides with this idea of Team Plasma being these moral presenting people with sinister aims is 2 Corinthians 11:14. It says, "And no wonder, for Satan himself transforms himself into an angel of light." Again, I think a great message this game teaches children is that there is more than meets the eye. There is more than just the
I'm not religious.
of what someone is saying.
I'm not a
and that we
gospel
shouldn't trust
person.
things just because they present as good.
And look, I already liked it. I already liked it.
Can present as an angel.
I'm gonna hit a sub.
We need to be discerning,
Subscribe.
and careful about what people are saying. But regardless, again, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit that like button down below if you enjoyed it.
Amazing
And don't forget to
video.
comment your thoughts on Team Plasma and the video itself. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Helps the channel out a ton, and I'm very appreciative. And don't forget to share this with all the Pokemon fans in your life. I know you know at least one Pokemon fan. Just go and share it with them. Again, I appreciate it. But that'll do it for me. Again, I'm Flyboy, and until next time, peace.
Damn it. Sorry. Can't type. I'm gonna read a comment. Guesses is the perfect lesson in real world evil, raising and preaching liberation, manipulating an entire world, all to grab power for himself. And when N doesn't serve him anymore, he discarded it without a second thought. Devils don't show horns. They wear the mask of angels of light. Gets and even the idea of truth and ideals as tools, and was blissfully ignorant. And it's also what made him get taken advantage of all of those years of all those years. Every time you upload, I change my favorite Pokemon villain. Like, I mean, like, dude. Okay. I'm not gonna. All right. I have a lot to say about Pokemon Generation 5. It is quite literally my second favorite story in all of fiction. Let's talk about it. Leave a like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell as well so you can stay updated on when I make videos, content, go live, and all the good creation. If you want to see me go over more stuff from Flyboy, also subscribe to Flyboy. You see, like, I'm already subscribed. Subscribe to Flyboy. Check out his content. You already see, like, look, I've already seen this video, but like, look, let me know. I'll do some double reacts. I'll do some like double uploads. Like, I didn't initially watch his Gen 5 video. That's why I wanted to react to it with you guys. And oh my god, come on. Just lock in. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Until next time, peace.